Hello, and welcome to transmissions from the NX7062. I'm Stephanie K, and I'm here, and this is one of my absolute favorite episodes of the year, my Convention 101 uh, episode, class, whatever you want to call it. I just love imparting wisdom onto people that are new to the convention scene because you know what? I like to take all the mistakes that I've ever made and let people know what I've done, what I would have done differently, just, to help people enjoy. Oh, help people. Bound is playing on my cell phone because I forgot to mute it because Bound is everywhere. Bound is like the most amazing um, song from Star Trek. Next to the theme to Enterprise, Bound is probably one of my favorites. Anyway, now that that's muted, so like I said, it's one of my favorites. I love to talk about conventions, and I love to let people know. I mean, I see it on the Facebook rooms, especially for STLV all the time. People that have never been looking for a little help. And the one thing that I really want to do is help people. I used to work with the newbie and solo traveler meetups that happen every year at STLV because I love meeting new people and helping them again because my mistakes or things that I've done that I think I would have done differently, I love letting people know what I've done because I want to enhance other people's experiences. We are hey, Joel, we are a total family in Trek, and I just love to see everybody else have a good time and not, again, kind of learn from my mistakes, especially the horrible David Tennant picture I took, which I will talk about in a little bit. But I do want to talk about real quick one show that has two major Star Trek connections, Carl Urban and Jack Quaid. And if you can't figure it out just by those two names associated together, it's The Boys. They're back. Amazon dropped the first two episodes already. It's fantastic, and I don't want to spoil anything. And honestly, because it's The Boys, God knows people die, people come back, so who knows where we're going with this, but anyway, it's back. It's the final season. I'm sad. I absolutely love The Boys. I love everything about The Boys. It's gross and disgusting and funny and dark comedy, and it's just fantastic. And it's back. And it's just funny to see Jack Quaid doing something besides. First of all, I watch him and I listen to him, and I know he does a different voice for Boimler, but it's just so funny to think this is the guy that does Boimler. Scared little, funky, funny Boimler, and here's Jack Quaid playing Huey, who, oh my God, has had such a character development between the first episode of The Boys where his girlfriend got blown up by A-Train to the person that he is now working with, Starlight. Anyway, I'm really excited this final season because it's also tying in the spin-off, which, of course, the title escapes me, but the one about the school, the Godalkin school. So anyway, if anybody ever wants to talk about The Boys, I will be happy to go off on a tangent because, like I said, I just related it to Star Trek, so I'm always happy to go off on a tangent about The Boys. But that is not what we're here for. We are here to talk about conventions, Convention 101. And the first thing that I want to address, I guess, I feel like I really want to address this first because I've seen it in other chat rooms, not just people talking about creation events, but people talking about a local Jersey convention called Chiller. A lot of people call conventions, they get annoyed and they call them money grabs. And something that especially a lot of younger people or people that are new to the convention scene may not realize is that back in the day, back in the early 90s, I used to go to conventions in the early 90s, including conventions. Hey, Ed! Conventions in the 90s, including creation events in New York City at the Pennsylvania Hotel, and I know I've mentioned this before. And back then, all of the guests, and there were a lot fewer guests. I mean, there was only a smattering. There was only a handful of guests, maybe 4 or 5. All right, I'm going to hedge my bets. I'm going to say no more than 10, and that's saying a lot because I doubt that there were even 10, but I'm just trying to run through. I know, it's been a minute. I'm just trying to run through the amount of conventions I went through and who I've seen there. I saw Dorn and Nana Visitor in Valley Forge Convention Center in Pennsylvania. I don't remember if that was a creation event or not. But there were a lot less people there, a lot less guests. So like I said, you might get 10, probably not even 10 guests. And the panels, and literally the schedule was like one piece of two-sided paper. Maybe a double, like, but nothing like this. And they did not charge for autographs. The guests did not charge for autographs. They just sat there until they got carpal tunnel signing for the entire line of people, which by the time, if you're towards the end of the line and somebody's been signing for 2 hours, and I know I've talked about the John Delancey thing. I met John Delancey for the first time at one of these events. The AC had gone out. It was hot. He'd been sitting there just, and I asked him about Days of Our Lives, and he snapped at me. I have met him since. I actually had the most amazing conversation with him in San Francisco, where we were in a much nicer room, and the AC was working and everybody was comfortable. We had a fantastic conversation about Arlene Sorkin, who was his co-star in Days of Our Lives. She played Calliope Jones, who, and for those of you that don't know, yes, this is a sidebar. For those of you that don't know, if you are a fan of Batman and you're a fan of the original animated series, Harley Quinn was based directly on Arlene, created for Arlene to voice, and she did such a great job. It brought her into the canon so that she was included in the comics. Harley Quinn is literally Arlene Sorkin, and it was based on her dressing up as a clown on Days of Our Lives. That's where Harley Quinn came from. But I knew her back when she was just on Days. Anyway, so John Delancey and I had a fantastic conversation about that. So I have, of course, forgiven him for snapping at me. But that was back in the day, and Creation charged you an entrance fee, and that was it. But the conventions were literally a vendor's room and panels. There was nothing else. And if you got done the vendor room, especially for somebody that came in from New Jersey, it took about 2 hours to get there, depending on if we took the ferry or whatever. There wasn't that much to do except wander the vendor's room, and like I said, there were very limited number of guests. Sometimes we ended up wandering around Times Square to go get something to eat. We actually left because we weren't missing anything. So they were very different. And again, they didn't charge for autographs. Okay. Well, move ahead now till, to the 2000s. Everything has gotten more expensive. And the conventions have gotten bigger. They're more event oriented. There's shows, and there's after hours, and there's things so the fans can make a full weekend of it and not get bored after being there for an hour or whatever. You have a ton of things to look forward to. There's more guests, more panels, more things to do. Venues have gotten more expensive. And now you want to have more guests because you know that you're going to keep people happy and keep them coming back year after year if there's more things to do. Like I said, there's after hours. Chiller usually has a band or something. So Chiller has after hours events. Creation is not the only one that does karaoke. There's a couple others that do karaoke. So they've become larger events. Now venues have become more expensive, obviously. And so there's that cost. But this is what people seem to forget. Yeah, exactly. It's if we're talking about back in the day, yeah, that's yeah. Creation still does a couple of those every now and then. Some of their smaller things are like that. There's a venue up in the Meadowlands Expo Center that's basically if Creation has a smaller event. That's what they've done. They did it for Outlander. It was like 2/3 was the panel room, and then a very small space for vendors because Outlander didn't have a lot of vendor tables. Anyway, so it's become more of an event. And what people I think tend to forget is that these actors, whether or not they love doing them, whether or not they do it for the fans or whatever this is work. Actors do not appear at things for free. They never have. This is not a new concept. This is not a convention-specific concept that if an actor does something, they are getting paid to do it, even if it's not a film, even if they're not shooting something. This is something that they are paid to do. Personal appearances are part of their world, part of their job description. Personal appearances. They get compensated for personal appearances. So, a lot of actors have what's called a guarantee. Okay? which means that let's say their personal appearance fee is $5,000, okay? And it's a 3-day convention. And the convention's like, if you show up, we are going to guarantee you $5,000. So, but let's say now you've got 10 actors that all have a $5,000 guarantee. That's $50,000. And that's before, and that's just for that. That doesn't include all of the other stuff. Some of the things I've learned, blocks of rooms. If you're doing it in a hotel and you want to reserve a block of rooms, the hotel's going to reserve a block of rooms, but then a lot of times they're going to expect you to do a food and beverage thing. Like if you're going to have a green room, they're going to expect you to spend X on food and beverage because they're giving you these rooms at a reduced rate. And then you have to prepay for the rooms, and then if you don't sell out the rooms, it's a lot. There are a lot of expenses that go into this. So on top of all the operational costs to put this on, oh, well, I think Lex just came into the room. He's a little sneezy tonight. Now you've only got 10 actors, and they all just won $5,000. That's another $50,000. So how are you going to make that up? Well, you've got a choice. You either make the ticket prices so astronomical that nobody can come, or you do what conventions do, which is a guarantee, which means you want $5,000 for the weekend. Okay. You sell your autographs for X. You sell selfies at your table for Y. We're going to do professional photo ops. This is the cut that you get of the professional photo ops. They tally all of that up at the end of the convention. And if it's $5,000 or over, the convention's in the clear. If it's $4,000, then the convention owes them $1,000, and so on and so on. So the convention has to make up the difference. Okay, if conventions didn't work on this model, they would either have next to no guests, be wicked boring, or they would have to make up that money that they have to pay elsewhere, as in ticket sales or room rent, whatever it is. So for the people that think that conventions are money grabs, or they get mad that the celebrities, somebody asked in the chiller something about, well, can I just get a picture? Do I have to pay for a picture? Yes, you have to pay for a picture. You have to pay for a picture, and that means don't jump somebody if they're on their way to the bathroom and try and get a picture with them, because they're there for a reason. And then there are people that get pissy with the handlers. Hey, Chris! There are people that get pissy with the handlers, because the handler will be there with their hand out, or something along those lines. This is a business. You're there to meet your idols, and I get that. And if you don't, and listen, a lot more, especially in this economy, a lot more people and are being really cool about, can I just say hi? And as long as you keep the I just say hi thing to listen, I love doing X. I think you're fantastic. I just wanted to come and say hi, maybe shake your hand, and then move on. If you can keep it to that, then there are a lot of people that will just a lot of handlers will understand that, and they'll let you go up, because not everybody has the money to pay for an autograph or a selfie. That doesn't mean you can't just go up and say hi, as long as you keep it short and sweet and move on. But what people really need to keep in mind is this is a business. And if you want conventions to keep happening, then this is how they happen, so that the books work out and the economics work out. I mean, right now, what's creation up to? They have to be up to like 140 at least by now. They're probably going to go. I mean, if I were creation, they're probably. I mean, this is a guess, but my guess is that they're probably shooting for like 200. I think that they would probably really love to hit 200 if they can, because it is the 60th anniversary of TOS, and it's the 25th anniversary of Enterprise. So let me see. Guests. Come on. They've redone the website. It's kind of cool. 141. Hey, I was right. 141 guests so far. So, yeah. That's a lot of people. Hey, Dave. That's okay, Dave. You're allowed to be late. Better late than never. So glad to see you. So they're already up to 141 guests so far. That's not everybody has a guarantee. It depends on the level. It depends on how badly they want to get in and what their booking agents will barter, or not barter, negotiate. That's what I was looking for. What their booking agents negotiate. And I will tell you, I know for a fact that the acts that work in the vendor room, they're the ones that get the guarantee that you're going to make X before you leave. The ones that you have to buy tickets for, and they only do the signings like once or twice during the convention in the main hall. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I know somebody I can ask, but I don't know if that's like prying. And I actually was going to ask before the show and I forgot. Anyway, but to have that many people coming, they would bankrupt themselves if they had to just pay for everybody to be there. Shatner alone has to be at least a five-figure guarantee. Okay. Not to mention the higher ups within all of the other shows. You've got Bacula this year too. So, you got Bacula. So whatever the actor is charging for their autograph and their selfies, they're trying to get as close to their guarantee as possible, if not surpass it, and that way Creation doesn't have to pay them. Okay. And the other, so yes, nobody is perfect. I know there are a lot of problems with Creation. As a matter of opinion, I know that people don't like Creation, and that's fine. I love Creation. I have worked for the first 2 years that I went to STLV. I worked for them. They're pretty good with their volunteers. They treat their volunteers pretty well. At least they did. COVID might have changed some things. So there's volunteers. And then I just started getting involved with groups, and I started working booths until I had my own booth. So this will be the third year. Big kiss for Ed. This will be the third year that I'm going to have my own booth. So I don't even really know how to just be a guest at these conventions because I'm always working them. Okay. But that's the first thing is they're not a money grab. They're a business bringing you 5 days of the most incredible science fiction entertainment. They have to pay the Rio. They have to pay, not only do they have to pay the Rio, they pay when I was working for them, they paid their volunteers. I believe they still do. I don't know for sure because I haven't known anybody that's volunteered in a few years, but they paid their volunteers. They have their own staff. Plus they have to pay union people. The docks, when the vendors come in and load in, and when they're loading in all of the cool stuff that they do on the stage, all the decor and everything that they do for the stage, they have to load in. The docks are run by the union. You have to use, which makes perfect sense. I have no problems with this, but you have to use the specific dock hands. You have to use the people that do the lighting and the tech and everything are the Rio union staff, which means they get paid well. And that's something that has to come out of Creation's pocket as well. So it's a business. And here's the beauty of it. If you don't believe that you should have to pay for something, you don't have to. The only thing you have to pay for is your ticket to get in. They open up karaoke to basically anybody, but that's pretty much it. You can get into karaoke, and then there are plenty of events that are fan run that are outside the convention. There's a lot of things that go on. I don't know if Cool Waters is doing their charity event this year. They may well be. There are other people that do events off-site. I don't recommend them just because there's so much going on, especially if you're a first-timer. That leads me into, if you are a first... Exactly, Ed. See, it's been pricey, but you get so much. No one has to buy the photo ops and the autographs. They can see all the celebrities in the panels. Exactly, Ed. Exactly. And I just lost my train of thought. This was so good, Ed. I needed to share it, and I totally just lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. Especially if you're a first-time person. I know Vegas is amazing. I absolutely adore Las Vegas. Everything about Las Vegas. The desert, the lights, the glitz, the strip. I love Las Vegas. And Las Vegas has a gazillion things to offer. If you want to do something in Las Vegas, either come in early or leave later. I do not recommend this to anybody. Do not try to schedule something like a show or anything that you can't be flexible with. Like, don't buy tickets to something at night or something along those lines. Unless you're willing to wait till the last minute, go to the concierge at the Rio and ask them what's out there, or use your phone and find something last minute. Do not schedule anything. Don't sit down, go to Vegas.com and go, well, I'm going to be there for the convention. What's going on? Don't do it. And this is why. Autograph sessions, even though the vendor floor closes between 5:30, 5 and 6, the autograph lines, if you bought an autograph ticket for somebody that is signing in the main auditorium, how do you know? If you go on Creation's website, if you go to look at the guests, if it says signing in vendor room at their pricing at their tables in the vendor, if it says vendor room, then they're going to be in the vendor room and you can stop by and they're in and out all day. If it has appearing on Saturday, autographs X number of dollars, photo op X number of dollars. Well, like Bakula, like Scott Bakula will say that his autographs are $150 and you can purchase tickets. That means Scott Bakula is signing in the main hall where all the main panels are. What they do is they have panels all during most of the day except for intermission. And then they have actors 4, 5, 6 at a time at tables in the far corners, the front far corners and the back corners signing. Those have been known to go to 9 o'clock at night. My first year, I was working in the auditorium, and I was one of the people that worked the autograph line, which meant I walked up and down the line, made sure everybody was good, made sure everybody was in the right line, everybody knew what the rules were. If there was somebody standing on a cane, I usually let them sit down and said, I work the lines. I'm actually really good at the lines. Anyway, but I overheard people complaining that they had share tickets and they weren't sure if they were going to make the show. And I guarantee you they're not refundable, dude. Maybe they would have been nice and maybe tried to find you another night, but nothing's guaranteed. So this is why I'm telling you, do not do anything now. If you go, if you know that there's a concert you want to see on X night and you get there and you look at the schedule and all of your autographs are during the day, there's absolutely nothing going on at night that you want to do, go for it. But do not pre-schedule yourself for anything off campus during the event because there's last minute changes, things come up, or like I said, you could be in an autograph line at 5 o'clock and not get done not get done for hours because it's Bakula or because it's someone else or because it's Shatner. I doubt Shatner does late, but you guys know what I'm saying. So, yep, Ed comes in 2 days ahead, leaves the day after. Oh, there you go. That's cool. Dave, let's see what Dave said. Agreed. Stay flexible, especially also if you have Trek groups that may meet for events in the evening. Friday and Saturday eves are packed. Exactly. There's so much going on with Star Trek Las Vegas, and especially if it's your first time, you do not want to miss doing Trekkie stuff. So that's very cool. That's very cool, Ed. Yep, you need quality Masquerade time. Masquerade is the bar in the Masquerade Tower where everybody hangs out. You will bump into pretty much so many people. You will make so many friends hanging out at the Masquerade. Last year they were showing all the Star Trek movies on a big movie theater sized screen that was right by the Masquerade, so you could drink and watch Star Trek movies. I had the most amazing conversation with Rod Roddenberry in the Masquerade, so you never know who's going to pop their nose into the Masquerade. Yep, exactly. Chris's first year was it is, exactly. It's overwhelming but fun. And this year's going to be more overwhelming because it's the 60th anniversary. Dave's right. Food with you throughout. The convention is out to kill you. If you don't eat, hydrate, you shall die. There are water stations. If you want to bring a bottle, there are water stations throughout the floor. There is convention-priced food that you can purchase without leaving the floor, which is nice because that's the other thing. If you are staying at the Rio, so that you are leaving from the Rio to go to the convention floor, it's still about a quarter of a mile to get from your room to the floor. Not kidding. So if you're staying at the Gold Coast, figure it's going to be at least a mile, half a mile, 3/4 of a mile to walk from the Gold Coast to get to the floor. If you're driving, there are parking lots that there's a door, but I don't, you know what, it's probably locked. I'm trying to think if I know there's a door that you can go out. It's just off the convention side, but the problem is it's past where they check you in, so I'm not sure if it's going to be unlocked to walk in. So my first con, I had 0 friends after joining Fit. There you go. Exactly. We're a family. It's so easy to make friends at STLV. But the big thing is, and I have to check in and make sure that they're having it, but the Newbie and Solo Traveler Meetup group is a great way to meet people. There's a Star, that's right, there's Star Trek trivia. It is a 5-day convention, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is a full day 5 convention. Tuesday night is preview night. So you can get, if you come in on Tuesday, you can get your credentials, your badges on Tuesday, and then the vendor floor is open, so you can wander down to the vendor floor. Now, the only thing you need to know for preview night is it's tiered. So gold people, I think gold get their badges at like 4 or 5. Then at 6 o'clock, captain's chairs, 7 o'clock, and it's tiered. But you can still get your stuff early so that Wednesday morning, when you want to go to the convention, you're not standing in line waiting with everybody else who got there Tuesday to Tuesday. I am going to be there on July 31st. I always come in that early because my best friend lives in Seattle. She and I have a room there. Hopefully she's going to make it this year. She hasn't been able to make it the last couple of years. Doesn't matter. I still go in on Saturday, either the Friday or the Saturday before. My birthday is August 1st. I do not fly on my birthday, so I'm going in on Friday. I believe some of my friends, besides Wendy, are coming in on Saturday. I've already got my plans for my Saturday dinner. But like I said, Saturday, Sunday, Monday are all mine to do whatever I want. If I want to just go sit by the pool at the Rio and drink a Miami Vice. Here's something else. If you like to drink, Miami Vices are like the quintessential pool drink, in my opinion. It is a half pina colada, half strawberry daiquiri. It's frosty and sweet and yummy, and that's my thing. Go to the Rio, sit at the pool, it's called a Miami Vice, and yes, they do know what it is when you ask for it. Okay, so hi JR, your second STLV. Admittedly, didn't take advantage of all the amazing opportunities. Excited for this year. Everyone was so nice and welcoming. Well, you're going to have to stop by my booth. And when the convention, I swear to God, I will get a map and post like an I am here picture, but you are definitely going to have to stop by my booth, JR, and we'll chat. And yes, there are, even as a veteran, I still miss things. So don't feel bad it was your first time and you missed stuff. That's why you just keep going back. So you just keep, people I talked to mentioned this year I should try staying through till Monday for post-con Monday unofficial stuff. It is, first of all, Sunday night is Rat Pack. And if you have not, I don't know if you stayed. It sounds like you might not have stayed last year. Sunday night is Rat Pack. The Rat Pack is the brainchild of Max Grodenchek. And so it's Max and Jeff Combs and Vaughn Armstrong and Casey Biggs. Ethan Phillips, when he's there, even when he's not, they throw up some videos. If Armin Shimmerman's there, he's part of it too. Sometimes they get an a visitor if they need somebody to fill in. And they sing the most amazing Star Trek parody songs. My favorite one is Zindi, of course. But it's fantastic and it is not to be missed, and it is free to everybody. So, and that's Sunday night, usually between 8 and 9. So definitely stay through till Monday. There's a post-con pool party that is basically all day at the Rio. All conventioners are welcome. It's hosted by JC. He's a Trekkie from England. He buys at least 1 or 2 cabanas every year. So assuming he's going to be there, there's going to be a pre and post-con pool party. So just between the Rat Pack and the pool party, absolutely stay through till Monday. Absolutely. Dave comes in several days ahead, but I'm hoping a friend set up vendor. Oh, that's awesome. Put you to work. Yep, see, you should. Anything good for... That's the other thing. It's good to decompress for the day. Yep, everybody's saying, see, everybody's agreeing with me. Definitely stay. Ed. Those Scream movies were super popular. If you're a bit shy to do the Masquerade bar full time, that's a great respite, and you're surrounded by Trek. And you can, and that's the thing, when you're in Vegas, grabbing drinks and wandering is expected. So if you want to grab a drink and then go sit and watch the movie, absolutely, you don't have to stay in the bar area. That's for like new people to Vegas. We all know this, but you do not have to stay in the bar with your drink. So grab a drink, go sit and watch the movie. There's plenty of seats if if you just want to sit and quiet, sip your drink and watch it. And if when Tracy Coco's there, she'll yell and point herself out to you because she was in First Contact and Generations. So she'll point herself out to you, which is fun. Yep. It really was. It really was. I was just all about First Contact because I was running around. Yes, that's true. If you drive in, anyone can park at the Rio. It's one of the because it's off strip. It is one of the last places that you can park for free. It used to be free parking on the strip as well. Now it depends on the level of loyalty card you have. When the Rio was part of Caesars, I actually got myself up to platinum status, and platinum status had free parking at all the Caesars properties. I'm back down to gold. I still have the platinum card. I just wonder if I flash it, if I could park, but I'm not driving. I don't have a car. But yes, the Rio does have free lots. And like I said, there are lots that are closer to the convention center, so you don't have to walk as far. I just don't know if that one door is going to be unlocked. Well, gee, I think we'll be running into Ed. Dave, I think that goes without saying. You know what we say. I'll have to check out the Monday. No idea what happens, but I have the time. So yeah, exactly. If you've got the time, do it. I remember that was my only drawback to my first one. I had my mom in my ear all day on Sunday telling me that the storm was moving in, and they were watching my dog, and they refused to watch him for an extra day. So, because they'd watched him, they're like, you have to come home. So instead of leaving on Monday morning, I switched my flight and left Sunday night. Like I literally got my check from Creation and ran back to my hotel on Fort. That was the other thing I learned. I think the Rio's kind of sold out. So if you were lucky enough to get a room at the Rio, that's great. The Gold Coast is the next best, and then the Palms is down the street. The Palms is the last thing that's pretty much what I would consider in walking distance without having to Uber. My first year there, I had a friend that was a travel agent, and she got me a really great deal at the Westgate, which if I had known at the time used to be the Hilton and still had remnants of the Star Trek experience, it would have been even a cooler stay. But I ended up staying at the Westgate and renting a car. I swore I was never going to do that again, so I now stay at the Rio every time. It is expensive this year though, but I'm still going to work on that. But stay at the Rio if you can. But like I said, if it's sold out, Gold Coast or the Palm. You want to stay as close as possible. Let's see. Chris never made it to the Masquerade last year, but once the last panel was done, I went back to the room to recover. Oh, right. That's right. You got a new hip. So you will be enjoying the con so much more, like, especially with all the walking. Yep. Monday, I think it starts at noon. It starts at noon, but then it goes all day. So absolutely. I'll have to check with JC and make sure it's still happening. We're still one of the last two casinos hotel with 24/7. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Everything on the strip is really pricey unless you have a loyalty card that's a higher tier. Tiffany! Oh my gosh, Tiffany! Actually coming through with a useful suggestion. Yay! It's so nice to know that I'm a useful suggestion. Hi, Tiffany. So good to see you. Sorry it took me so long to find you. Let's see. So excited that Tiffany's here. The Rat Pack is always amazing. Agreed. Agreed. And I love Jeff Combs, and sometimes that's the only time I get to say hi to him. Oh yeah, this is very true. It is not politically correct in the slightest. A couple people complained last year on Facebook because they just didn't get the jokes. Ethan Phillips works blue, as the saying goes. Google it. No, he works blue. So yeah, it's definitely not politically correct, but it's funny. It's all meant in jest. Let's see. Moopsy is being well behaved. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to weed through all the personal conversations and get to the stuff I want to post. I'm at the Rio one night this year. Gold Coast the rest. Okay. Okay. Oh, so Dave, let's see what Dave says. I'm the opposite. Added a day in. My friend's hooking me up for a part of the time, but he can't sleep. But he can't sleep on my cosplay layout area. Dave, you and I will talk after this about stuff. About stuff. Cosplay. Speaking of cosplay, Tiffany is is my personal queen of cosplay. Everything Tiffany does, besides the fact that it looks amazing, she sews. She puts together herself. And so if anybody has questions right now about cosplay at the convention or cosplay or the costume contest that they run every year, then she is your girl. She's absolutely your girl. Ask questions here and Tiffany will answer them. Tiffany, I know I'm throwing you under the bus, but you are so much more the cosplay costume person than I am. The walking's no joke. Yep. I don't go back to my room unless I've forgotten something and then I beat myself up over that and then I beat myself over the head about it. So I always try, like before I leave my room every morning, it's either at my booth overnight or it's at my table. Dave is not too shabby either. Dave has pretty good cosplay too, but I remember the one year that Tiffany came in and was still working on her outfits in Vegas. And it's amazing. Yes, Larry. Let's not forget Larry Nemchek, who I know I pronounced that so badly. There's trivia that's usually. Oh my gosh, my brain just went blank. Preview night. At the Masquerade, Larry's always doing trivia. And I always bug him about doing Enterprise trivia so that I can answer it. Hello, Jean. Thank you for joining us. So it looks like we've got a couple Canucks in here tonight because Tiffany's joined the fun. So good to see you too, Jean. Good to see you too. But Vegas is just an amazing experience. So let me get into some of the 101. Let me get into some of the 101 stuff that I wanted to get into. And I touched on it. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but so when you're in the vendor room and you see like your absolute favorite actor, oh, DevCon isn't staying there. It is so busy. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You brought it to karaoke. I forgot about that, Tiffany. You brought it downstairs. There used to be, it's not there anymore since the Rio changed hands, but there was this great little restaurant a little ways down from the Masquerade bar in the Masquerade Tower that had karaoke like every night. And Tiffany was literally sitting at our table sewing. I completely forgot about that. So hold on one second. So you've got your favorite actor of all time is in the vendor room. You can't believe it. You're finally going to get a chance to meet them. And you've never met them before, regardless of whether or not you're buying an autograph or you just want to do that, or if you just want to meet them. If you just want to meet them and not buy anything, 99% of these actors have someone sitting with them. I'm not sure I've ever seen an actor at TLV that didn't have a handler of some sort, whether it's their booking manager or not. I agree with you, Tiffany. I want them to put karaoke back too. If you want to just say hi to them really quickly, the person that's taking the money, just say really quietly, is it okay if I just say hello? Is it okay if I just want to meet them? They'll tell you, and if they say, you know what, no, then just say, okay, no problem, and get out of line. Because you know what? Here's the other trick. If you want to do that and you don't have any money, wait until there's nobody around, because everybody at some point will not have a line. And that's usually a better time to go over and see if you can just say hello instead of having to buy something if they don't have a line. But here's the other thing you want to do. You finally get a chance to meet them. You're like, hi, I thought you were great as XYZ. I loved, if you love them from something else, that's actually even better. That's actually even better, is if you like them from something else, because they are going to be spending all day talking about Star Trek for the most part. So if you like them in something else, ask them about something else, because that will usually get you more engaged with them, especially if it's something that you like them that not a lot of people may know about. Anyway, you're having this fabulous conversation. Things are going really well, and you're so excited. In the midst of all this, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to this person. Be very aware of your surroundings. Two things that you need to be cognizant of. Okay. How the conversation's going. If you're getting a sense that they want to wrap it up, they are human beings. Their throats get tired. Maybe they're thinking about going to lunch. Whatever it is. Just be cognizant, because you'll get that vibe. Don't make them end the conversation. The best way to end the conversation has been like, oh my God, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been great. It has been so great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and leave. The other thing you need to be cognizant of, even if you're still kind of vibing, if people start lining up behind you, whether or not you've paid, this is something you should do whether or not you paid for an autograph anyway, just out of consideration for other convention goers. But if when you got there was nobody behind you, but all of a sudden now there's people behind you, they've got more money to make. Like I said, this is a business. They're there to make money. And the last thing you want is to ruin the most amazing, possibly one of the most amazing conversations of your life, getting a chance to talk to somebody, is have them or their handler tell you to have to move on. You want to be the one to show that respect and be like, you know what? I see you've got a line. Thank you again, and move on. Chris is right. If you're in the room while there's a panel going on, then yeah, the vendor's room is totally dead. If there's a big panel, but then again, you might be one. I'm not a big panel person. I am really not a big panel person. But the enterprise panel, I went and saw Bacula last year, and this year the enterprise panel is going to be huge. So I'm sure I'm going to want to go to the enterprise panel. So if there's a big panel and it's not a panel that you want to see, then the room's going to be really quiet. And Chris is right. That's going to be a good time to go. But obviously, that's the other thing. Make sure that you look at the schedule. There's an app that will be functioning when the convention starts. Creation has an app, the CE app. And it's really great because you can put reminders. It will put reminders on your phone. You can move things from, like, it gives you a list of activities during the day. And then you can move it into reminders and into your personal calendar so that you'll get reminded so that you don't miss anything. So the app is great. If you're more of an analog person and you just want to set your watch with an alarm, they do hand out booklets and printouts. But the thing about the booklets is they print the booklets a week before. Somebody could literally cancel after the booklets have been printed, and then the whole schedule is a little fouled up. They will have updates, but the best place for the updates is in the app. Yep, Vic's Lounge, that's what I was talking about earlier. While you're here, the panel going. Yep, we're going to get to the secondary stage in a second. Thanks, Joel. And thank you, Dave. I've been pretty. There was only one time, and thank God it was Connor. There was one time Connor Trenier and I were having a conversation, and I was very wrapped up in what he and I were saying, and his agent Lolita had someone in a wheelchair, and she actually had to say, Stephanie, and I went, oh my goodness, I'll catch you later, and just walked. And I did apologize to Lolita as I walked past her, but that's very rare for me, because again, you just really try to be cognizant of what's going on around you so that you're not taking up their time. And like I said, you don't want to end what could be one of the best moments of your life, meeting somebody that you absolutely love. The other thing is to show grace. This goes back to somebody who commented a few weeks ago, really pissed me off, that said they had a bad interaction with Nicole DeBoer. Nicole DeBoer is one of the sweetest people that I know. I have never seen her not be gracious to her fans and sit there and talk to everybody and be lovely, unless, of course, she needs to run to the bathroom, or she needs to run, or it's time for her to go eat, or time for her to do a panel. She's always gracious. This person did not have that experience. Lolita is amazing. You will see Lolita around STLV. She is a booking agent extraordinaire, and she books a lot of the people into STLV, including Connor and Dominic. I've known her for years, and she has my complete and utter respect. I'm trying to get her on the show because she's fantastic. Exactly, Nicole's amazing, but she had a bad day, and somebody had a bad interaction with her. And that was their first interaction with her, so they posted negatively about her on a Facebook page, and the comments got shut off, or I would have said something in Nicole's defense. So have grace. If you talk to somebody and you're getting a vibe, or they're being cold to you, or you get negative feelings, or not, you don't feel, remember, this is a 5-day event, especially for actors in the vendor's room. They have to be on at all times, smiling, happy, just, they're there to see you, and they don't want to disappoint their fans. They know why they're there. They're there for their fans. And they do not want to disappoint their fans in the least. So, but that's tough. That's 5 days and that's rough. That's really rough, especially when, let's be honest, you're answering a lot of the same questions over and over and over and over again. I mean, but that's part of the job. Again, but have some grace. So if you meet somebody and they're not what you expected, that's the other thing. You're going to have an expectation. It's human nature. That's okay. Just have grace if they're not exactly what you expected, or they seem a little off. They could be hungry. They could be tired. They could just very easily need to go to the bathroom. So if they sit there and they say, listen, I really got to go, let them go. And that's another thing. That leads me to, if you see them in the hallway, they are going to or coming from somewhere to go back to their table. And that's very true too. Check your emails. If you are not on Creation's email list, you should be. Ed's exactly right. One of the emails that Creation just released are about all the first-time people that are coming. So, especially, the Starfleet Academy cast, this could be their very first convention ever. If not, it's going to be their biggest one. If they've gone to smaller conventions, I know a couple of them are going to Shore Leave. Shore Leave is nothing compared to STLV. So, again, have grace. But just remember, if you see them in the hallway, they're running somewhere to go do something. Don't try to stop them, especially if they're on their way to the bathroom. How would you feel if somebody stopped you when all you needed to do for the last hour was go to the bathroom? So if you see them in the hallway, if you want to just say a quick hi, like wave at them, but don't try to stop them. And definitely don't try and take a picture with them. Again, selfies at the tables, because that's part of their contract. That's part of what they're doing there. So please do not try and sneak in a free selfie because you happen to catch them between lunch and getting back to their table. Because trust me, that is not going to do anything more than leave a bad taste in their mouth. And that's not what you want to do. Because I am surprised how many people I've met once and they remember me. Ethan Peck remembers everybody he's ever met. He is absolutely yeah, there you go. Starfleet Academy actor. Yeah, exactly. Go show them some love. Go show all the SFA people some love. They just got canceled. They need all the Star Trek love they can get. And I'm being serious. I know I said that lightly, but I'm being serious. Show them what it's like. It doesn't matter that they got canceled. They are still part of the family, and they need to know that. But yeah, don't, like I said, wave at them. Hi. They may or may not wave back, but let them be on their way and go see them when they're sitting down. When they first get there, and I'm guilty of this too, because I'll say hi to anybody when I see them. If they're just setting up, especially a couple of people that I know really just want to set up, just let them set up and get settled before you come over. That's always a good idea. Let them catch their breath, put their pictures out, sit down and get ready. Don't pounce on them when you first see them. So yep, and the cruise is a completely different animal, and they're gonna find that out too. Yeah, that's the other thing. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up. That's the other thing. There are actors like Ethan, who else does it? Jonathan Frakes will do it. I've seen Jonathan Frakes do it. That will talk to anyone. Like if you have a good story or you are clicking with them, they will yap with you. And that's fantastic. Okay. And then yeah, everybody behind you is gonna get but guess what? Just remember, like I said, like it's a long line. If they're keeping you there, you're good. If you don't get that vibe, like you need to move on, and they're keeping you there, you're fine. As long as, like I said, when you feel it winding down is when you should move on. Because guess what? Everybody else behind you is going to get the same chance. So guess what? That guy that was just bitching was like 5 people back. It was taking so long. Ethan Peck's talking. When they get up there, trust me, they're going to take that time too. Oh yeah, they were talking about. There you go. Something that he doesn't get to talk about all the time at conventions. They're talking about freaking wristwatches. If you know anything about planes, Michael Dorn will talk your ear off if you want to talk to him about aviation. You want to talk to him about Wharf? Talk to him about aviation. That's your in for Michael Dorn. I know that for a fact. But yeah, just like I said, just be cognizant. Just feel your, just use your instincts. Feel when the conversations are winding down. But like I said, if you're talking to Ethan Peck about watches and he's really like, he doesn't want to let you go and you could tell, and the handler, and you're just good, have the conversation, because like I said, people behind you will get their chance. Yep, that is usually on the, okay, so this is usually on the creation website, but Chris is right. Be cognizant of when your actors are going to be there, because there are some that are not there the entire time. Joel's right. Make friends in line. I have the second year. Yes, that's true. There are like 1 and 2 day people this year. There's absolutely 1 and 2 day people. Make friends in line. I am still really good friends with a couple of people. When I worked the second year that I worked creation, I worked the photo ops line, which is really, really awesome. I went hoarse working that line, keeping people straight for pictures. But there were some people that came back every time, and I'm still friends with them to this day. And that was 2018 that I worked the photo op line. 2018? Yeah. 2018 I worked the photo op line, and it was amazing and it was fun. And yeah, I'm friends with Chris and Rachel, who hasn't come out for a while, but yeah, Chris is great. He always comes and sees me. So making friends in line is really easy. Yep. If you say hi to Doug Jones, Dougie hugs are magic, and you will get Doug hugs. But again, leave that up to him. If you say hi to Doug and he turns around and gives you a hug, aces. But if he's running somewhere because he's got a panel to be in, he may or may not stop. So again, this is just the best thing to do is just respect. The other thing, the big thing okay. So that's the vendor room where a lot of the actors are going to be. That's also where you're going to shop. Browse, like preview night and like the first couple of days, browse. But if you can, depending on what it is, you may want to hold out till later to buy. Because again, you'd have to take it back. The bigger stuff, you definitely have to take back to your room. But the deals are to be had on Sundays. But again, if it's like one piece, some of the vendors will barter. Some of the vendors will barter with you. So if you want to try and negotiate a different price, but I always take the first couple of days to browse and then decide what I really want to buy. But try to keep that buying on the first day impulse down, because you never know what else is going to show up. And there's so many people there. The vendors tables are sold out this year. So there's going to be a shit ton of stuff. So if you're there to shop for things, definitely. Oh, one of the things I almost forgot. Okay. So the vendors room, the actors that are in the vendors room supply their own pictures. So when you buy an autograph from them, they've got their pictures. If, like for Bakula, you buy a ticket to have him sign because he's signing in the panel room, you have to provide the 8x10 or whatever it is that you want him to sign. You have to bring it. So if you don't have something to bring, Creation has a table. Creation has a photo op table for everybody that they're, or not a photo op table, a 8x10 table that's at the side of the vendor room. They have 8x10s of every person that is ticket signing. They have those. So you can pick them up there. But that's one thing. People get online for autographs in the main auditorium, and they don't realize that they have to have their own 8x10s and they have to run out. If you have that kind of problem, which I hope you don't, but if you forget, talk to one of the volunteers. They may let you run and come back to your spot in line, maybe. And that leads me to two things. Let me get the photo op thing out of the way before I forget. Photo ops are not a place to talk to people. Vendors' rooms are a place to talk to people. I made the mistake of trying to talk to David Tennant during a photo op, and my mouth looks really stupid. Do not talk. You literally are in and out. You're in, you're posed, and you're out. If they've got Chris this year, which I'm sure they will, he's like one of their top, he'll check the photo. If your eyes are closed, he will do a reshoot. But that's the only thing he'll reshoot. So it's in, it's pose, it's snap, and you're done. That's photo ops. Which is also why, if you're worried about a conflict, if you've got a photo op and an autograph session in the main auditorium at the same time, do the photo op first because they're faster. But also let whoever is working the photo ops, let them know. Because if it's starting to get really late and you're really starting, then they'll bump you up in line. Okay? Nobody's going to want you to miss anything. Yeah, that's true. They haven't announced Doug Hugs yet. Well, hopefully soon. I'm sure he's going to be there. So yeah, photo ops go quickly. So if you have a conflict or they're really close, do the photo op first because the autograph lines are a lot longer or they take longer. But if you have any conflicts that you're really worried that you're not going to be able to do it, and sometimes the photo ops take longer and people have missed autographs, Creation will do whatever they can to get you that autograph or refund you the money. But a lot of times they'll work at getting you the autograph. Whether it's, the only problem is sometimes you don't meet the person. Like if they're off in the green room, somebody may take your picture and get it signed, but they won't take you with them. But here's the other thing. Like I said, it is Star Trek's 60th. It is Enterprise's 25th. They're actually recognizing Enterprise's 25th. There's a Saturday gala at 5:15 for $159. We're getting about 20 Enterprise associated people at the gala, including my guy, Vince Dedrick. Vince Dedrick, who was on this show, who was the stunt coordinator for Enterprise, who's going to be at my table for, I think he said, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He is also going to be at the gala, which I don't know if Bakula is going to be at the gala, but pretty much everybody else has been announced for the gala. They have literally everybody except Jolene Blaylock is going to be in Vegas for this year. It is going to be more crowded. I missed the 50th. So I don't know. So I haven't experienced a big anniversary year yet, but there you go. Awesome. But it is going to be huge. It is going to be more crowded. If you have a problem with claustrophobia, if you have a problem with large crowds, I believe that they do have at least one quiet room. Oh, here we go. Dave's got tips. Check your makeup. Yep. If with a friend or make one in line. Check each other. Take phone or other stuff out of pockets. Yes. They do have a table. They do have a table for you to put your stuff. And they do have somebody watching the table. So you put your bags down, you go around, and then you pick your bag up after you're done. But yeah, exactly. Use your phone last minute. Check the gate, check your lips and everything. Dave's absolutely right. Make sure you check everything because, like I said, there are no redos unless your eyes are closed. I don't know how Creation's doing with volunteers as far as bodies this year. They have an incredibly difficult job. I have been there. I have worked the auditorium. People can be rude. People jump seats, and when you tell them that they can't sit in somebody else's seat, they get obnoxious, like you're the one that's in the wrong. Been there. There was a father and son duo that I'm surprised they didn't get kicked out because they just kept seat jumping. Let's see. Oh, we're just okay. Yep. Phones cause bulges, glasses shine. Consider removing. If you tend to overheat, bring hanky to wipe or dusting makeup to eliminate. Look at it. Yeah, exactly. Act like you're a model for the day. Make sure you powder up. Well, there you go. And you can take off your badge. Absolutely. I always forget, and I'm like, oh, why was I wearing my badge in that picture? Just be mindful that these people that are there are volunteers. They are working the convention. Instead of attending, they're working it. And they are dealing with probably, thousands and thousands of people in the auditorium, in the photo op line, running around the vendor room. Chances are they're going to be short-staffed. Chances are they are not going to have enough volunteers to do everything that needs to get done, which means that everybody's going to be doing double and triple duty, more than likely. Plus, there are VIPs. So there are concierge people that have to show the VIPs around. And the VIPs do get VIP status. They do get to go to the front of the line. Please don't get upset if you see somebody a well-dressed person leading a group of people to the front of the photo op line. It's VIP access. There's a limited number of VIPs. It is not going to add a half an hour to any line. It's going to add a minute or two to any line that you're in when these VIPs come up. So just understand that they have VIPs, concierge. It's something you have to have a gold ticket, and then you have to bid. And then there's an auction, and the highest bidders get VIP status. There's not that many people, but there are going to be VIPs. Hello, Lasso. Hello. Missed you. Let's see. Volunteered. It's tough work. People need to be kind. Trek fans like to be nice and happy. Fed bellies full of their money's worth, but it's about community and kindness. Yeah, it really is. And just don't forget that. Yeah, exactly. There's like 10 VIPs. It's not that many VIPs. But like I said, they're going to be shown around by a concierge. So like I said, if you see some people yeah, exactly. It's like 10K. Oops, sorry. It's like 10K. But I mean, Lasso's a convention pro. He just went to C2E2 a couple weeks ago. We were talking about that. I promised him one of these days I'm going to go to C2E2 with him because it sounds amazing. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot. VIP tickets are a lot. Oh, okay. Go, Jar. I've never pre-ordered autographs, but did this time. How are the QI codes used or redeemed? They scan them. I know for photo ops, you can just have the QR code and they'll scan it. They'll scan it while you're in line. The autographs, I don't know about the autographs. I just know that they were scanning. They do scan them at the photo ops. Like you show them the QR code and they scan them photo ops. So you don't have to get anything printed because they're really not doing like hard copy tickets unless you walk up to the. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, everything's scanned. Thanks, Dave. Everything's scanned. See, they're trying to save trees. So if you pre-ordering's good. They are anything that is not sold out, they will have a ticket table. Oh, no, they're not doing ticket tables anymore. You still have to do it online, but I think they waived the service fees. You can still buy things on the app at the convention. They just waived the service fees if you're doing it day of while you're sitting there. So you can do that, and then, like I said, just scan the QR code. So, yeah. Save a tree. You used to have to print that stuff out. You don't anymore. But yeah, just remember Chase's motto, hashtag be kind. It does get hot. It does get crowded. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. If you feel yourself, because I know me, if you feel yourself, I know how I can get sometimes in a big crowd. Sometimes I just get like this whole, like, just get me out of here kind of deal. You can go outside if it's not, 120 degrees. That side door will let you out, where you can vape if you vape. I believe they will have a quiet room, which is really important. So they will ask you personally join another. You can ask to have a character name added to, but I would ask. Yeah, that's the other thing about autographs. A lot what the volunteers do, or what the handler will do, is sometimes there's a sticky note and they'll ask you your name and they'll write it on a sticky note and they'll put the sticky note on the autograph and hand it to the person, and that way they can spell your name right from the sticky note. If you want to get yourself a sticky note and just write whatever, like if you want everybody to say like to JR and then character name, put it on a sticky note. Put it on your own sticky note and carry the sticky note around to every table and pick your picture and put the sticky note on the picture and hand it to them, and that will save everybody time, and they really appreciate it. They really appreciate it because that way, because sometimes it gets really loud, and even if your name has a traditional spelling, they may not hear you say that. Somebody may spell it wrong. They might hear something else. So if you put it on a sticky note, nobody has to worry about hearing you. They can just like, oh, it says 2JR and you want my character name, 2JR Dr. Phlox, that kind of thing. John usually always puts Dr. Phlox on there, unless, of course, you hand him a picture that's not Dr. Phlox. Yeah. Doing your own sticky notes is not a bad idea. A lot of people started doing it, so that's something I would suggest. But listen, and just remember, not that any of you guys, not that anybody that listens to my show would ever do this, I would hope, but I have gotten addicted to those Facebook cop videos where you watch the police arrest people and watch them flip out. The one thing I will remind you of is that this is a creation event. It is a private event. They do reserve the right, and they will kick people out for certain things. Like I said, there was this father and son duo that kept seat jumping. They got general admission tickets, and they kept sneaking into the gold section. And the people in the gold section were getting pissed. And one of the women, somebody that was sitting in the gold section, said something to them. They called her a nasty word. Oh, Tiffany! Oh, let's just throw Connor under the bus. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh, Tiffany, I completely forgot about that. A couple ahead of me. Oh my God, redo their sticky. That's funny. But it does track with Connor. Love you, Connor. Can't wait to see you and Jackie. Love you. Happy belated birthday to everybody. But yeah, I totally forgot. You are not joking, Dave. That is totally Connor. That's totally Connor. You can't take it back. But we love Connor. But I didn't know the name. The woman didn't say what they called her, but it turns out it was the C word. And the woman that was in charge of all the volunteers said if she had known that, she would have had them kicked out. So I am not saying that anybody here would ever do anything, but if you're within the sound of my voice, if you have a problem, there is an information desk. If you feel like another attendee is in the wrong, they've done something, they've said something, they've been inappropriate, do not handle it yourself. Go find a volunteer. They're wearing black, they're wandering around, they'll have lanyards. Or like I said, go to the information desk. Charlie's probably going to be there. He's fantastic. Just go to the information desk. Suzanne's probably going to be there too. Go to the information desk. Tell them what's happening. They want to know. Don't let bad behavior just be like, oh, if it's something, tell people. Don't keep it to yourself. And definitely don't try and handle it yourself. Because the last thing that you need to have happen is for you to stand up to somebody that's done something horrible, and then it escalates, and then everybody gets thrown out that's involved. So please just remember, you are there to have an amazing time. Everybody's there to have an amazing time, but things happen. And if something happens, find a volunteer, go to the information desk and tell somebody. That's it. Just tell somebody. And then go back and have an amazing time. Have an absolutely amazing time. Ed, I don't do autographs, but about K. Mulgrew, of course. Handler handed me a sticky note and said, write what you want. I got flustered thinking and wrote, to my second favorite ensign, Ed Mill. Oh, that's cute. Oh no. She sighed that it was so long for her. Oh no, Ed, I'm so sorry. Lasso has helped me with some amazing. Lasso always comes up with really great things to say. When I got him Adrian Palacki's Wonder Woman autograph, he came up with, every Wonder Woman needs her, to Ryan, every Wonder Woman needs her magic lasso, which I thought was fantastic. Oh, yep, have cash. Good, Chris. Excellent. Have cash. More and more actors are taking cards, but there's still quite a few that are cash only. Yes, very true. So bring cash, because here's the other thing. It's a casino, so do they have ATMs? Yes. Are those ATMs going to charge you out the ass to get cash? Yes. So Chris is absolutely right. Bring cash. A lot of them are still doing Venmo, but John Billingsley, I can tell you right now, is cash only. There you go. Tom Welling didn't like what I wanted to write, but there you go. You're taking my money. You're writing what I want you to write, baby. The convention gentleman who handles the photos are great and sent my photo file and a print for free. Oh, Chris. Oh, was that Trent too? Was that Chris and Trent? Because Trent's awesome. Anybody who's doing a photo op has to say hi to Trent. He's the Aussie guy with the salt and pepper hair and the earring. He's fantastic. He's a good friend of mine. He's one of the he comes in early. We always hang out. We usually do breakfast. I don't think we'll probably do breakfast on Sunday at Denny's, because I can get my free birthday breakfast. Doesn't have to be my birthday specifically. I think Denny's gives you like the month to get your free birthday meal. So Denny's is probably going to be on my Sunday docket. So Dave, you're invited. Ed, if you're the Ed, did you say Tuesday, Ed, or Saturday? Because if you're around, you should come to Denny's. We're all going to go to Denny's. That's the other thing. Cheap food. There is a Denny's and a Del Taco and something else within walking distance. They're across the street from the Rio. They're adding different restaurants in the Rio now. They've gotten an eggs. The Starbucks is fantastic. The Starbucks is on the app. I've actually, like, a lot of times the Starbucks that are in buildings that aren't freestanding aren't on the app. The Starbucks and the Ipanema Tower is on the app, so you can actually order from your room. Highly recommend it, because once the convention starts, the lines are going to be outrageous. So if you need your morning Starbucks, I didn't say we had to get up early. It's Denny's. They serve breakfast 24/7, my dear. I don't get up early either. That's why I love Denny's, breakfast all day. So you can order. You still may have to wait for it, but at least you don't have to wait in like the long line of people. You could just order it like 15 minutes early and then go down and get it. Like before you even leave your room. That would be my suggestion. They're getting an egg sluts. I do not know the pricing on egg sluts, but that's like, obviously it's breakfast sandwiches. Swear to God, if they have an app, do that too. Obviously Starbucks does have breakfast stuff too, but I'm really looking forward to egg sluts. Breakfast could be like noon. Like today, like, because I'm not working right now and I'm doing my own thing, I think I ate breakfast at noon. Yesterday I ate breakfast at 2:00. So breakfast is just whenever I feel like getting up. But the food court's not terrible. The food court pricing is not terrible. They also have a Chinese restaurant. The Mexican restaurants only open Thursdays through Sundays, whether that changes because the convention's going to be in town. But right now, like just regular, it's Thursday through Sunday. which is, and it's not Guy Fieri's anymore, which is fine because I was never impressed with Guy Fieri's. They're doing something with the sports bar too. That's out. The pub is really fantastic, but it is a little pricier. But oh my god, the food is so good. So there's decently priced stuff in the Rio. But like I said, if you're looking to do really cheap and really save some money, Denny's and Del Taco are right across the street. I don't know. I hope Lasso didn't leave because they said Del Taco like 3 times. Oh, Chris, congratulations. That's right. Chris is going to have a table. So, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I always look forward to it, but like I said, it's going to be different this year. It's going to be crowded more so than ever, which also makes me happy. I have a table because I have some place to be where I'm not like in a crowd. Like I said, first couple of days, meander the vendor's room. Don't buy. I would never buy on the first or second day. Kind of get your, Oh, well, that's very cool. Their cheesesteaks aren't bad, but I'm from South Jersey, so I have high standards. Tony Luke's is a Philly-based cheesesteak thing, but I'd rather have a Pat's any day of the week. But I'm glad you found a veggie option. That's awesome, Joel. But yeah, like I said, I should be in the same place that I was last year, booth-wise. So I'm going to see if I can dig up the diagram that Ryan sent. So, but basically for me, when you walk into the vendor room and you turn left and you go down as far as you can to like where Make It So is, because that's my buddy Mickey Gunter, and then you turn right and you go up it's like the far left aisle. You're going to pass by the table that sells all the 8x10s. And I'm going to be on the right. Usually they have actors, so there's going to be actors over here, and I'm going to be on the right. My banner is going to say NX7062. Be great if I was across from John Billingsley again, because he'll be loud, and then you can all just find me because I'll be near John, which would be great, because John and Bonnie, once again, are going to get a table in the vendor room. But if you guys have any other questions about anything, a couple other like quickie little things. I recommend taking a cab from Harry Reid to the Rio, or the Rio is back on the shuttle. The Rio's back on the shuttle service, and Expedia has a really good deal on shuttles. So I would either go on Expedia. If you go on Expedia under cars, it says cars like rental cars, but then it'll say airport transportation. Click on that. And Expedia has really good deals on shuttle service. So I would either take a shuttle, or if you want door to door after a long flight, take a cab. I keep forgetting about Smashburger because it's on the other side. There's a pretzel place and Smashburger in the Masquerade Tower all the way down the corner. It's actually by the parking lot where you have to pick up Ubers. So if you ever Uber, it's out by there. Uber and taxis cost about the same to get to the Rio. And taxis are always right outside of baggage claim. You don't have to go any further than outside baggage claim, and there they are, and you jump in and you go. Ubers and car and that kind of is ridiculous. You have to go all the way to the Self Park lot on the other side. It was ridiculous. I did it once, and just getting to where the car had to pick me up, dragging all of my luggage. No, I was not going to do that again. It's worth it. So either get a shuttle, because then you can book round trip too. You book a round trip, and then you have a way back to the airport. You don't have to think about what the day that you're checking out. Or you do a cab. Ubering, once you get to the hotel and you want to do Uber, yep, exactly. They're always sitting there waiting for you. Where with an Uber, God knows. And they don't cancel on you. I was at the Delano trying to get back, and so I'm like waiting to get my cab, my Uber, and like 3 of them canceled because there was something going on outside the parking garage and it was harder to get in. Did it move last year? I remember still having to go to the garage out by Smashburger. It used to be, it was over by the food court, but then it moved. I don't even know where Uber's at anymore. I'm just like a cab girl at this point. That's the problem. It's such a long ass walk to Uber. I'd rather take a cab, and chances are the cabs are going to cost you the same. Dave, didn't we go to the parking lot, Dave, when we caught that Uber to Gordon Ramsay? We had to go out past Smashburger. Because I know Tiffany's right. You used to like be able to go out by the food court, but then they moved it back. It's at either end. Either way, Ubers from the Rio are a pain in the ass because it's either out the doors past the food court or it's out past Smashburger and into the parking structure that's out past Smashburger. It's one or the other, and it's a pain in the ass. Whereas, as Ed said, there is a cab stand right outside the lobby. Okay. You know what, though? Honestly, yeah, thanks. Okay, I'm not crazy. It was the parking lot. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Dave. But you know what? When you check in, ask them where you go pick up the Ubers. That's it. Yeah, but taxis are the same price. So, and they don't cancel on you. So, all right, guys. Oh my gosh. Again, this is always because I love talking about conventions. I am so looking forward to it. I mean, it's 4 months away. Actually, it's less than 4 months away. It'll be over this time in 4 months. But anyway, guys, any questions that I did not answer or you want to follow up on, you can comment on this episode. You can find me all over the socials and comment on the socials. You find me on the socials, send me a direct message. I'm either NX7062 or I'm at NX7062 or the NX7062, depending on whether you like your Instas or your Facebooks, but I'm all over. And please just feel free to reach out if you have any more questions. Because like I said, this is going to be my 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It's going to be my ninth. It's going to be my 9th STLV. So I'm really, really excited. And like I said, I'm more than happy to offer any advice that I can. If not now, come and see me at my booth because I will be there, and please do come and see me at my booth. All right, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope I was helpful. I hope I answered some questions. And like I said, if you've got any follow-ups, feel free. And I cannot wait to see you all. Can't wait to see you all next week. Same bat time,